Well, the dairy industry is celebrating a victory this morning in the first USMCA trade dispute settlement. The review panel agreed Canada is breaching its requirements regarding allocation of tariff rate quotas. In turn, that unfairly restricts access for U.S. dairy producers. Ag-Secretary Tom Vilsack calls the ruling a big step for the sector.
I think what's important about this ruling is that we're going to be able to sell more U.S. dairy products in Canada across the board because these quotas will now be recognized.
Vilsack says it shows the Biden administration's commitment to enforcing trade rules and protecting American farmers and ranchers. Now, the U.S. isn't the only side claiming victory with yesterday's decision. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now with the latest from Canada. And Shaun, as always, thanks for joining us here this morning. So what is your insight on this decision from the panel?
Yeah, Jenny, you're exactly correct that Canada as well is claiming victory in this dispute panel decision. I think this is the first dispute panel to rule under the USMCA, which kind of makes a lot of sense because there was so much focus on dairy from an agricultural perspective during those negotiations. Of course, the U.S. did gain more market access into Canada for U.S. dairy products. The U.S. on the decision, basically, it was around the idea around TRQs and the allocation to processors and trying to get more U.S. processors to be a part of that allocation, which obviously Canada will have to concede. It appears, though, that there was some other points in the dispute that were not decided on, which Canada is saying, hey, that means we won on those. And it appears to be a situation where both sides can kind of save face to some extent. I do think, though, the U.S. side has done a much better job of getting out in front of this and winning the battle when it comes to a media perspective.
Now, Shaun, why do Canadian officials consider this a win?
Yeah, well, so there's four components to the dispute panel. The U.S. the panel ruled in the U.S.'s favor on the one. Now that was the allocation to processors for those TRQs was the one component of the four that was talked about the most heading into this ruling. So I can see why the U.S. would be so excited about the fact it went their way. In the Globe and Mail, there was a good discussion with Peter Clark, who formerly worked for the dairy industry, trade expert. He said the decision is not a significant blow, in his opinion, to the Canadian system. It's not dismantling supply and management. It merely gives Canada the ability to be more liberal in how it allocates access to the Canadian dairy market. So from that perspective, he doesn't see this being a big blow for Canada.
So, Shaun, what's next for the dispute on the Dairy TRQs in the USMCA?
Yeah, I believe Canada has till early February to make the changes, work with the USTR to look at how those allocation of those TRQs will be made to processors. So Canada will have to comply on that, or will face some retaliatory action from the United States. But bigger picture, this is two countries that have a trade deal, the USMCA, or CUSMA as it's called in Canada. They got some other stuff to work out. Softwood lumber tariffs, the potato wart situation, of course, MCOOL, subsidies on EV vehicles. So I think we're going to have a lot of trade issues to talk about here in the go forward in 2022 between Canada and the U.S.
All right. Well, Shaun, as always, thank you very much for your time here this morning. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, connecting with us this morning. Now you can catch him on his show, Real Ag Radio, that airs at 4:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday on Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM. And, of course, we'll chat with him again here on the Market Day Report tomorrow morning as well.